Now, I'm making this video because, good God, do some people not know how to control their finances when it comes to buying a car. And honestly, it's just making you poor. We have a lot to go over, a lot of examples that I've found online of just very poor financial decisions, and it's putting you even deeper in a hole at a time where cost of literally everything is going up. Now, I don't want to say I don't understand why it's happening, but I've never put myself in that situation. I own a 2015 base Honda Civic that I bought for $10,500 with 63 or 68,000 miles on it, and now currently completely paid off with 103,000 miles on it now, and I'm riding it until it dies. I'm hoping that I'm about halfway right now. I got another 100,000 miles until I have to deal with all of this and buying a new truck, but most likely it'll probably just end up being like a Tacoma. Whether it be vanity or just the lack of knowledge, people just pay so much money for cars. It's unbelievable.
How much is your car payment?
1,400.
How much is your car payment?
403.
What's your car payment?
1,100.
How much is your car payment?
1,400.
What's your car payment?
I don't have a car payment. What are you driving? What's your car payment?
I got a 2024 Grand Highlander. I pay $1,200 a month.
For a Grand Highlander, if you know stuff about cars, $1,200 a month for basically a nothing car. I'll see those cars all over the road. There won't even be a double take. It's just another normal Toyota, but $1,200 a month for it? I mean, we have this guy, $1,400 a month. What is that? Like a $60,000 or $70,000 car? I mean, same thing for this dude, like $1,100, and I could almost bet it's some sort of wannabe race car, Acura Integra, Civic Type R, like a 370Z or something like that, where people could believe that they're race car drivers even though they're just driving on like normal residential roads. But there's a million of these kinds of TikToks all over the place, and what I've seen is a pretty common issue in all of these videos is that the dumb car payments, or at least the dumbest car payments, are almost all men. You saw a couple women in this video have about $400 car payments or completely paid off, which is clearly the best option, but guys have to have their nice cars, and I get it, I understand. I'll talk about my experiences a little bit later in this video, but is it really worth paying $1,000 a month for some sort of car that's relatively fast? But we're getting into the point in our world where like normal everyday like EVs are faster than most like sports cars now. So you paying like $60,000 or even more for like dealer markups for an Integra, Golf R, or a Civic, and then just getting absolutely obliterated by like a Model 3 or like a Hyundai Ioniq 6 off the line. Like, whew, I don't even know what I do. But even though most of the time it's guys making stupid decisions with these cars and running themselves dry, women are also doing it, all right?
Don't forget, I'm also just a girl.
Now, this is a whole trend I saw, and there was a million people making these videos, but this one I thought was probably the dumbest. $800 car note because you wanted the newer model, which I know is still a stupid amount of money, but still not as bad as the $1,200 we saw earlier. But if you go to the comments, she used to have a 2016 C300, which is an okay car. I mean, not an AMG or anything really special about it, but it's kind of whatever. But she upgraded to a 2021 CLA 250. $800 a month for a base CLA 250 that's 3 years old. It's not even the brand new model. It's already gone through a solid amount of depreciation because it's just a nothing Mercedes. It's not even the AMG. And CLAs are basically the car that you get to buy the brand logo. It's not even like a base C300, tiny little nothing car that honestly looks pretty crappy, and you're paying $800 a month for it. And we got to start talking about the trucks as well, because all these luxury brand cars or little sports cars that people think are kind of fast are still all overpriced, but trucks are unbelievable.
All right, old son, I crunched the numbers for you, and with the credit score of 400 and no down payment, it was a little hard, but I think I got something worked out. How does $1,500 a month sound for 72 months?
Oh, dude, awesome. I can't wait to drive around the neighborhood.
And this is super common, which we'll see in a little bit, how unbelievably expensive trucks are now. And I get it, if you need a work vehicle, any sort of construction, or just lugging stuff around, there's no option other than getting a pickup truck or maybe like a Sprinter van, but those aren't cheap as well. That's you're basically in the same price range. So you can't roll around in a little Corolla and tow a whole bunch of crap if you're doing like landscaping. It's just not gonna work out. But brand new trucks are unbelievably expensive. Again, for models that aren't even really significant. It's not like, oh, they're really expensive because you're getting like the TRX or like the Raptor R. Those are so far out of it. They're like $120,000, $130,000. Normal F-150s that are brand new that you'll see around the road all over, and you'll look at it and then look right past it because it's not even anything significant. You're talking around $70,000 now.
Don't forget the insurance now. Insurance probably going to be about $500 for this bad boy. Is that going to be all right?
And we're not even stopping around the $1,500 mark for any of these trucks. We're just looking at the Fords now, but the Chevys, the Rams, the amount of insurance you're paying on top of it. I mean, it's even stupid how much I'm paying for a 9-year-old paid off base Civic with 100,000 miles. I'm paying $250 a month for base coverage. If I crash the car, I'm getting $0 from the insurance. I have to just go buy another car.
And keep in mind, the maintenance on these things is a little more than the 94 Chevy you traded in. Oil changes, they're going to run you 150 plus, and you know, tires, they're a lot more too, so just keep that in mind. All right, bud? I ain't worried about it, bro. I just can't wait to post this bad boy on my social media every single day. Cold start, hashtag power stroke.
And that's basically the biggest problem with a lot of guys, or honestly, I'll lump in both. It's not even just guys. Being able to post it on your Instagram and show that you got a Mercedes or a brand new truck or anything and be able to put it on your story just for the vanity of it.
Some of you spend an unbelievable amount of money on a car payment to impress somebody at a stoplight you will never be introduced to. But, buddy, you felt cool there for about, what, 3.5 seconds? I've been that fool. That's why I know who he is.
And I understand it. I am in that boat, and I think about that all the time because especially where I live, I don't want to say upper class, but like upper middle class, and around my area has very, very wealthy people. So there's a whole bunch of just kind of assholes on the road with really, really nice cars. And here I am sitting in my almost 10-year-old Civic when I have the money to buy a really nice car, even something brand new, but I've been looking at a W212 E63 for years now, and finally prices have started to come down somewhat on certain models of cars in the past few months, including the Mercedes that I've been looking at, and I could easily just go to a dealership and buy it. No car payment, nothing, be able to pay for the insurance. I just know that's so stupid, but I do have those impulses, even just as recently as 6 days ago on Cars and Bids, Doug DeMuro's car auction website, where they sell cooler cars instead of just like, you know, normal run-of-the-mill stuff that you'll see at like the Toyota dealership. They had a E63 with only 66,000 miles sell for $35,000. Now, when I was looking a couple years ago, these were 40,000 plus easy with like 80 to 90,000 miles. And at the 90,000 mile mark, there were pretty big services that you had to pay for. So on top of the 40 plus thousand, you're also losing at least a few thousand at the Mercedes dealership. But now these are starting to drop, and this particular car was in New Jersey where the rest of my family lives. So I could have actually flown up from North Carolina, bought this car, picked it up, and drove it back down. I get it. It's really tempting, but I'm just not going to do it. It's just so dumb. I'd be able to look cool at intersections, especially for people who know cars. Particularly the W212 is the more reliable AMG out there, at least over the past like decade or two. Now that's still relative. It's not going to be reliable if you compare it to like any Honda or Toyota or whatever, but it's still a pretty cool car. But I'm just not going to pull the trigger. I'd rather put that extra 30, 40,000 into something that can make me more money, into savings accounts, into more inventory for my resale business. And I know in the end that is the better decision.
A $44,000 SUV when you make $85,000 a year is stupid. Whether you paid cash for it or not, it's still stupid. But when you financed it, it's double, triple stupid.
Losing half a year yearly income on a car is just honestly the norm right now. And it makes me very happy that I ended up spending only $10,000 on my Civic way back before I knew any of this financial knowledge, and I did not put myself in a hole really whatsoever. But now we'll get into the new cars and how insane some of these prices are. And this is recent. This isn't something where the videos that I'm pulling are like from 2 years ago. Even with the car market slowing down, there are still ridiculous prices.
Why? Just why? Why is this happening still? How is it worse? I just don't get it. I mean, okay, I kind of get it. capitalism and all that.
Almost $94,000 for a F-150 Lightning, which is known to be just a terrible car. If it's too cold out, the battery that's already pretty bad, I think it's around 200 to 300 miles, maybe like 250, could be cut down as far as half. So you have like 100 miles until you have to sit at a charging station for hours on end. And you want to pay $100,000 for that truck? And with dealer markup still, it could be, I mean, look at that market adjustment, $35,000. That's a price of literally 3 of my cars, more than 3 of my cars.
The 2023 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro had a markup of $30,000. 2022 Ford F-150, $55,655. But both of those pale in comparison to the markup on the EV Hummer, which was $200,000 above sticker. That's $339,999
for an absolutely terrible GMC product. Now, I actually think the Hummer EV is pretty cool as like a beach truck. Say if you live in like Florida and you could drive up on the beach and like hang out for the day, I think it actually would be pretty cool. I know it's going to be unbelievably unreliable on top of it being an EV and not just a normal gas car, but we'll go back to the first clip where there was a $30,000 market adjustment on a brand new Toyota Tundra, which should be the reliable choice on trucks if you're trying to get, you know, a Ford, a Chevy, Ram, GMC, any of that for a work truck. Normally the Toyotas will be the most reliable. Just in general, the brand is probably one of the most reliable, but even with the $30,000 markup on a brand new Tundra, there are tons of problems with it. It being a twin turbo hybrid, engines are just shutting down, so much so that there are actual recalls for the most reliable truck that you've already spent, I don't know, anywhere close to $100,000 on.
Oh, you hear that? Sound of another dead Tundra 2024. He had a 2024 with 7,500 miles, engine blew up, and Toyota's really not doing a lot to take care of this guy.
They're having so many issues that the company is trying to dodge them all together. Tons of individual cases of engines blowing up. I mean, that was less than 10,000 miles. It's still a brand new car. But it happens so many times that there are now finally recalls on a brand new truck that is what, at least $1,500 payment a month, just so you could have a nice brand new truck.
Here we have a 1500 e-torque like that. Lots of different variations already. Here's another 1500 e-torque, and this vehicle here retails for about $69,000, and this is a Bighorn Sport Quad Cab 4x4.
$70,000 for that truck. I get that it's brand new, and I mean it's decent looking, but it's, again, nothing special. It's not like you're driving around in a big 700 horsepower like Raptor R or TRX. It's just another one of the trucks that when you drive down the highway, because all the models over the past like 10 years on all like the truck companies, they basically look the same. There's very minimal change, at least the exterior of the truck. So if you're trying to get a truck that's brand new, that'll look really nice on the road. I mean, a majority of the people won't even think that it's new. It just kind of looks like a truck that's a decade old. But if you have a crazy car payment, especially on something that you don't actually need, which I mean is like a work truck if you're in some sort of construction or have to bring a trailer somewhere, lug around a lot of equipment, any of that, having some sort of luxury car when you literally don't have that type of money, and I mean easily over 6 figures a year, where you're only spending like 10% of your income on a car. I don't know what to tell you, man. You just terrible financial decisions, and it seems like even if you do try to buy a brand new truck because you need it for your job, it's a hit or miss if it'll actually be reliable or not. But it's honestly just crazy right now. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.